The journey of spiritual awakening does not begin with noise. It begins with a whisper. A subtle feeling that something deeper is calling you. For me, it wasn't a loud or dramatic moment of clarity. It was quiet, almost invisible. But something inside me knew that I was changing. I was living a life that looked complete on the outside. Career, relationships, routine, social image. I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to do. But deep inside, I wasn't fully there. There was a point where I began to feel disconnected from the life I was living. I cared about the external world, my success, my relationships, and how people saw me. But slowly, something began to shift inside me. I started questioning everything I had always accepted as normal. Not loudly, but quietly. Like a soft voice in the background of my mind. A feeling I couldn't explain that something was missing. It felt like my soul was whispering to me, there is more to life than this. It wasn't an instant awakening. It was more like a flower slowly opening, petal by petal. My perception of life began to change. I started questioning who I was, why I was here, and what I truly wanted from life. One of the first signs was an inner restlessness, a strange feeling I could not ignore. I would sit quietly and stare out of the window, lost in thought, searching for something I could not yet name. I wasn't looking for answers yet. I was simply feeling the question. Then something strange began to happen. Synchronicities. Moments that felt too perfect to be random. A song would follow me everywhere I went. A book I had forgotten about would suddenly reappear when I needed it most. At first, I thought it was coincidence. But it kept happening. And slowly, it felt intentional. As if life itself was trying to get my attention. That was when I realized something. I had been living on autopilot. My mind was filled with distractions, worries, and fears, and I had stopped hearing myself. The spark of awakening came when I finally paused and listened. For the first time, I began to hear something deeper within me. One of the most important lessons I learned in this stage was the power of silence. At first, it made no sense. How could silence give me answers? But in silence, something begins to speak. The soul. As I began to sit in silence, even for a few minutes a day, I started hearing my inner voice more clearly. I realized I had been resisting change for a long time. But growth requires letting go. Letting go of who you were, to become who you are meant to be. The path was not linear. There were moments of confusion and moments of clarity. But every step I took, every realization I had, brought me closer to myself. If you are listening to this and you feel something stirring inside you, Do not ignore it, because it may already mean you are beginning to awaken. And this is only the beginning.
Before the awakening, exploit comedy story. Most people know me as Exploit Comedy. The comedian, the creator behind the skits. But my journey did not start there. Long before the fame, long before the followers, I started with something different. As a young Igbo boy, I loved animation and cartoons. I was learning how to draw, how to create characters, how to bring stories to life. Back then, I called myself Exploit Laugh. Even as a teenager, I was already creating. I also joined drama groups, church drama teams, and theater units. I moved from stage to stage. We even performed in carnivals in Port Harcourt. Acting was part of my life early. When I was younger, I also loved writing. I wrote stories and novels on A4 papers. I drew the scenes and characters by hand. Storytelling was always inside me. In 2012, I got admission into Imo State University to study industrial chemistry. But my heart was always drawn to creativity. I often found myself watching theater art students during rehearsals, studying how they acted, how they told stories. Without knowing it, I was still learning. Later, I joined the campus fellowship in church. I became the drama coordinator and director. That was when I started making skits with my phone. No professional equipment, just creativity. I even used green screens made from old wrappers, cloth clips, anything I could find. That was the beginning of what later became Exploit Comedy. I later formed a small crew, and we started creating content together. Original stories, original ideas. From 2016 to 2018, things grew fast. We reached over 3 million followers across platforms. It felt like everything was working. But in 2020, everything changed. We went separate ways. That season became a turning point in my life. And that was when my awakening began. A new chapter started.